Good morning, seventh graders. Welcome to our technology class. This is week 32. So we're going to be starting with our first coding lesson in CS First this week. Before we do that, I do want to just go over with you guys about logging into the account. So if you noticed, I emailed a spreadsheet out last week and it had usernames and passwords. The usernames are all these 3-digit numbers, and then the passwords were a word. And so that is your username and password that you need. So when you go into the CS First website, so if you click on the link that was in the email that I sent, you'll have to click I'm a student. Then after that, you'll have to click sign in with your CS First account. And then it's going to ask for the class code. You need to do it in all lowercase letters. So we noticed the problem is when kids put the uppercase letters, it doesn't work. So it has to be all lowercase, and the class code is XPWZT4, all lowercase letters. After you put that in, then it asks for your username and your password. So everybody already is in here because I put everybody in. If you forgot your username or password, go to the email that I sent last week. It's in the spreadsheet. I do ask that everybody please keep the information confidential. That means don't log into somebody else's account, since I sent the whole spreadsheet with everybody's information. Obviously only look up yours and go into your account. I feel like I don't even need, do I really need to say that? But maybe I do, to remind you that it's not appropriate to ever go into somebody else's account. So only go into your account. And then if you have any trouble still after this, then come to me in the room, in the tech room, and then we can try and see what the problem is. But that should work. If you do lowercase, if you use the username and password that I sent you, it should work and you should be fine. Okay. What else did I want to tell you guys before we get started? So yeah, we're going to start with lesson 1 and just follow along with the video. I know obviously this is not ideal in any way. It always is better if you're in front of your computer and we're doing this in the classroom together. But so what we'll be doing this year is you'll be watching this video, and then you'll go home on your computer, and then if you need help, you can always go back to the video again and pause it or whatever. But if you need even more help than that, then you'll have to come like during your lunch or something. Okay. All right. So let's click in. We're doing fashion and design. So lesson 1 is the fashion story. So I think that we already watched the What is Computer Science video last week, but you do have to click into there because you need to go into the fashion story starter project. So when you click into that, it's going to open up in Scratch, and you need to rename the project and save it. So if you click where it says untitled, just put your name, put lesson number 1, and this is called fashion story. And then go to file, save now, and it will save it. And let me show you what happens. So for example, well, I can't really show you an example because I don't think anybody started a project yet, but let me just use somebody's account as oh my gosh, I'm in 6th grade. What am I doing? Wrong class. I got a little bit mixed up here. 7th grade, I mean. So let me go, let's click on Lois. So if I click on projects, oh, Lois already has a project in there. She looks like she's ahead. So she already, but do you see how it shows up under projects by Lois? So it'll show up for anybody. It'll show up the projects when you do it. So then that way I can click in and I can check and see your work. The other thing, before I forget, I wanted to mention, if you are okay with me sharing your projects on the videos, just send me an email and just say it's totally fine to share my projects with on your videos. And then I can include, it's always, this is the most fun part about doing the coding, is seeing everybody's projects, because they're all going to be different and creative. And so we can share them on the video. but I don't want to share anybody's that they don't want me to share it. So if you're okay with me using yours as like in the video, as like a sample or whatever, just send me an email and say, totally fine, you can share my videos in the video. And that, I mean, you share my project in the videos. And then that'll be fun because we could see each other. I don't know if you guys remember how we used to, in the old days when we used to be together in the classroom and on the big TV, we would bring up everybody's projects and then we could see each other's work. And it was really funny to see because some of you guys would come up with such funny things. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so now that we're past that, let's go back into lesson 1 here. So we opened up our starter project under links. We saved it, we renamed it, we saved it. And now I'm going to hit the next button and let's watch the video and see what we are going to be doing.
In this video, you'll learn the Scratch programming language and program a sprite to talk about one of the following fashion story starters. My personal style is to put together an outfit, first you, and if I could dress any way I wanted, I would. This starter project contains 3 sprites, an android, an object, and a thought bubble sprite. In this video, you'll use only the Android sprite, so all the code you write for this activity will be part of the Android. Click on the Android sprite. The code blocks in the palette control what the Android sprite does. To see what a block does, just click it. To select a block to use in your program, click and drag it into the scripts area. Drag a say block into the scripts area. Many blocks have values that you can change by clicking on them and typing. Type the fashion story starter you chose into the say block. This example uses, if I could dress any way I wanted, I would. But you should use the option you like best. Click the say block to try it out. Great, it worked. The sprite in this example says, if I could dress any way I wanted, I would. Now that you have a code block in your program, make it run with the play button. In Scratch, the flag can be programmed to run your code. Click Events and snap a When Flag Clicked block above the Say block. Blocks that are connected together are called a block stack. In a block stack, each block runs in order from top to bottom. The computer reads the instructions you create to make sprites perform specific actions in your program. When a computer scientist tells a computer to read and carry out instructions, it's called running the code. This block stack reads, when flag clicked, say, if I could dress any way I wanted, I would. Click the flag to run it. Awesome. Now it's your turn. Select the Android sprite, the Looks menu, and drag out a Say block. Type a fashion story starter into the block. Select the Events menu and add a When Flag Clicked block. Once you've completed this step, click the green arrow below this.
Okay, so let's go in here. So we're going to be adding a say block and start our fashion story. So remember, it always has all of the instructions here. So it says choose a story prompt, select the Android, drag a say block into the scripts editor, type one of the fashion story starters into the block, and add a when flag click block. So let's go in here. So we notice that our Android, there's a blue highlighted box around. That means that we are now coding the Android. So you always want to be careful because each of the sprites that are located in here, as well as the stage, they're all coded separately. So if you're not clicked on the right one, it's not going to code out that one right. So let's get a say block. And then let's get a when flag click block, which is under events. And what do you want your sprite to say about fashion? So, if you want to choose a different sprite, let me show you that. Go under costumes. There's different ones that you could choose. So you can always change yours. You do not need to use the one that they give you. If you're even more creative, you can totally change it to whatever you want. So it's really up to you, okay? Oh my gosh, look at this one. Maybe we'll go with this one, with the snowflake. Okay, so I'm gonna have her say, hi, I love winter, so I always wear fashion with snowflakes. Snowflakes. So now watch. She's going to say whatever I just typed into the little block. So that's a good start to the code. So now let's go down to here and go to next. And let's add to the story.
In this video, you'll program the Android sprite to say more about its fashion. First, click the Costumes tab. Sprites can have multiple costumes. To select a costume that you like for your story, just click it. Next, click on the Scripts tab and add another Say block to your block stack. Type in text to continue the story and make the sprite say another statement about its fashion sense. Think about colors, patterns, your favorite outfit, sneakers, whatever it is you want to share about fashion. Once you've added the Say blocks, click the flag to try it out. Interesting. There are 2 Say blocks, but the sprite only said the text from the last one. This kind of unexpected behavior in code is called a bug. Computer scientists test their code frequently to find bugs like this one, so they can fix them. In this example, the bug happens because the sprite says both Say blocks so quickly you can't see them. To make the sprite say the phrases more slowly, click the control menu and drag out wait blocks. Place one wait block after each Say block in your code stack. Change the value in the wait blocks to set how long the sprite will pause between statements. A larger number will create a longer pause, while a smaller one will make the pause shorter. For example, enter a longer wait time if you have long sentences to give your viewers more time to read everything your Android says. Try it out. Great! Now the sprite waits after saying each statement. In computer science, it often takes more than one try to find the right solution to a problem. Keep coding, testing, and trying solutions until you find the one that works. Add more Say and wait blocks to continue the story. Be creative and share what you like about fashion. Test your code often by clicking the flag. Awesome. Now it's your turn. Continue your fashion story starter by adding more Say and wait blocks. After you're done, return to this.
Okay, so I'm gonna just follow similar to what they're doing, just so that we don't get confused. So they're using this block, and then they're going into control and they're using a wait block. So that's how they're doing it. And they're waiting about between 2 to 3 seconds. So again, you might play around with this if you want it to be quicker. And then they're starting out with, if I could dress any way I wanted, I would. So let's add it to this one. If I could dress any way I wanted, I would. And I wonder, because this person loves snowflakes, I would wear snowflakes every day. And then I'm going to add another wait block. And I'm going to have my little sprite talk about winter is my favorite season. So I love celebrating it through fashion. And then I'm going to add another wait block. So I'm just really making, I'll show you how it all comes together in a minute. Who doesn't love winter? Do you? And now let's see. So here we go. I'm going to open this up. And there we go. Do you notice how there's a pause between each of the text blocks? And it makes sense. So it gives the person a chance to read and see what they're saying. Okay, so now let's go to the next. And these are some add-ons that you can use. So these can be fun.
Congratulations on coding your first project in CS First Fashion. Now you get the chance to customize your project with add-ons. Scroll down the screen to discover the different add-ons you can try to make your project more fun and unique. In appearing objects, program a fashion object to glide onto the stage using broadcast. In bubble expressions, give the sprite personality by expressing its emotions with bubble emoticons. In color craze, make your program more visually exciting by changing colors. You can even add music. These add-ons are just some ideas for how you might customize your project. You can do one.
Okay, so I'm going to show you some of the add-ons. There's appearing objects, there's thought bubbles, and there's color craze. So let's watch
In this
appearing
add-on, you'll
objects.
code a sprite to glide on stage using a broadcast block. First, choose the object you want to use. Click on the object sprite. Click the Costumes tab and choose a costume you want to use. To start, program the object sprite to glide on the stage. In this example, the sprite appears on the left side of the stage and glides toward the Android sprite. Select the object sprite and drag it to the left of the stage. Then click the motion menu and drag out a Go to XY block. This block sets the sprite's X and Y position, making it appear at that spot when the block is run. Awesome! This should happen at the start of the program, so click on the Events menu and add a When Flag Clicked event. Next, drag the object sprite to where you want it to go. Notice that the X and Y positions of the object sprite changed. The values in the glide block also updated to the sprite's current position. Drag out a glide block. To test, click the Go to XY block. The object starts at the left side of the stage. Then click on the glide block. The sprite glides to the next position. Now, send a message to start the glide action by broadcasting a message. The broadcast block sends a message, and the When I Receive block receives it. Broadcast blocks allow you to make code run whenever you like in your program. In this example, the object will glide when the Android mentions it. Select the Android, go to the Events menu, and add a broadcast block above the Say block that mentions the object. Click the drop-down menu and select New Message. Name the message something that describes what the code will do. This example uses Object Appears. Next, click the Object Sprite. From Events, add a When I Receive block above the Glide block. Test this by clicking the flag. Great! When the broadcast block runs, it tells the glide block to run. Finally, the object should hide at the beginning of the program, then show when the message is received. From Looks, drag a hide block under the When Flag Clicked block. Then add a show block under the When I Receive event. Click the flag to test. Awesome. Now it's your turn. Make the object glide on the stage using the Go to X, Y, and Glide blocks. Make your code run using Broadcast and When I Receive blocks.
Okay, so now the thing is, these are going to look different for all of you. Like, for example, I might use the sunglasses with mine because they're already here. But if I had, I might look in the costumes and see if maybe there's something a little bit more winter looking, since she said that winter was her favorite season. So I might look through and see some choices that I have from in here. If anything, oh, there's a scarf. Yeah, so then what I would do is I would probably go back to my story. So let me go back to my Sprite and say, I might add another text here that says, in winter, I always accessorize with a scarf. Oops, what did I do? I can't see the writing because it's so small. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Hang on, let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so now what I did is I added in a sentence that talks about how she accessorizes with a scarf. Now what I would do is I would have to go to my broadcast blocks. So if you remember what we just talked about with the video, what they just talked about. So inside of the events, So you would have broadcast message, new message, and I'll just call it appearing object scarf. So remember, yours is going to look different than mine because your person may not have a scarf. It might be something else. Then what I have to do is I have to go into the scarf. And if you remember, we're using some of this code. Go to X, glide to whatever the location is. So I'll show you. If you go in the motion blocks, there's a go to X, and then there's a glide block. So then what we have to do is use the when flagged clicked block and the when I receive. So those are both in the event. So when the flag is clicked, we want to hide. So that's inside of looks. Hide our scarf. Have our scarf go to a certain place. And then when the scarf receives the broadcast message, then we want the scarf to appear. So go find the purple appear block, or show, I should say, it's called show. And where do we want it to show? Right over here. So I have to figure out what position that is. So let me just move the scarf over here where I want it. And I see that's 47, 43. So the X value is 47, the Y value is 43. So did you see how I did that? I just dragged this. Like, for example, if I drag it over here, I could see the X value is -104, Y value is 154. I know it sounds like we're back in robotics again, but you do remember X axis, Y axis, right? And so that does exist here, even though you don't see it. But it's kind of nice because it tells us where it is, right? So we're going to move it to 47, 43. But let's just have it be somewhere over here. Maybe we'll just have it start over here at -189 and then 41. Okay, so now I'm going to test this all out. So remember, it's going to hide when I start it. Okay. If I could dress any way I wanted, I would wear snowflakes every day. Winter's my favorite season, so I love celebrating it. In winter, I accessorize with the scarf. And then look, the scarf pops on. So do you see how it's all, the timing was a little bit fast. I kind of felt like it was a little bit fast. I might actually slow this down. We'll do this 3 seconds, 3 seconds. So you can play around with it if you feel like it's talking a little bit too fast. Let me try it out now. So then, and then there she goes. Yeah, that seems to work a little bit better. Okay, let's go see some other add-ons that we can do. So there's Thought Bubble. So let's see what Thought Bubble
In
is.
this add-on, you'll program the Android Sprite to show a thought bubble with emoticons that show how it's feeling as it talks. To start, click the Thought Bubble sprite, then the Costumes tab. This sprite has several emoticon costumes. An emoticon is a picture that shows a facial expression or other image to convey an emotion, like a smiling face to show happiness, or a frowning face to show sadness. Choose a costume to display in your project. Think about what your Android might feel at different times. Is there a time when it might feel happy, sad, silly, for example? The bubble sprite is hidden on the stage. To make it show, click the Scripts tab, the Looks menu, and the Show block. Next, program the bubble sprite to change to the costume you chose. Drag out a Switch Costume block. Click the drop-down and select the name of the costume that will display. Click the block to run it. Great, the costume shows. Program another costume change. In this example, the story will start with an empty thought bubble. Drag out another Switch Costume block and select Blank. Click to run it. Cool. You now have 2 code blocks to switch costumes. Next, choose a place in your program where your sprite will change costumes to show an emotion. In this example, the blank costume will show at the beginning, so add a When Flag Clicked block above the Switch Costume Blank block. In this example, the other costume will change after the sprite says a fashion statement. To do this, use broadcast and when I receive blocks. Broadcast blocks tell code when to run by sending a message in one part of the program and receiving it in another. Click the Android sprite. From the Events menu, add a broadcast block at the point in the code where the costume will change. Click the drop-down and create a new message that matches the name of your costume change. Then click the bubble sprite and add a When I Receive block to the Switch Costume block. And select the name of the message you created. Test this code by clicking on the code stack in the Android sprite. The say blocks run and the message broadcasts to tell the Switch Costume block to run. Awesome. Repeat these steps for any other emoticon you want to show. Add a Switch Costume block and select the costume. Switch to the talking sprite, add a broadcast block, and create a message for that costume change. Then add a When I Receive block with the name of that message to the Switch Costume block. Cool. Once you've programmed this, click part 2 of this add-on, in which you'll create and program your own emoticons. Now it's your turn. Program the Thought Bubble sprite to change costumes using a Switch Costume block. Use Broadcast and When I Receive blocks to change the Bubble sprite's costume. Program the Bubble costume to start on blank using a When Flag Clicked block and a Switch Costume block.
Okay, so pretty much, again, this is going to really depend on what your story is and, when you want it to appear. So for example, in my story, I'm just trying to think how I might want to make this work. Maybe when the scarf appears, let me see. So if you click on the thought bubble and you click on costumes, you can see the different ones. There's a crown, burger, spray can, shades, flowers, music, check mark, happy, sad, heart. So I might decide which one I want to use, and then I could change to that costume. So I would have to go back. So you can always kind of see how they did the code, but we're going to have to do broadcast happy block. So we want to go to here, and in our events, we want to when I receive, but we need to go back to our main code at the Android and decide when we want this to come on. So probably, just thinking, probably after, I might do it after. Yeah, I might do it after. I might actually, I'm going to switch the order of this. I think what I'm going to do is so I'm kind of just deciding what I want to do. So then I'm going to have a new message. I'm going to name it heart. Because what I'm going to do is go here to the thought bubble. When I receive heart, then I'm going to have to switch to the costume. Switch costume to heart. So now let's test that out. So now that should be the last thing that happens. So we have, so the little story happens, and then she talks about the scarf, and then the scarf comes on, and then all of a sudden, oh, it should have ended with that, but it didn't. Okay, so I don't know what happened. Bugs, 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 bugs. So when something isn't working, you do have to go back and try and figure out what happened. So for example, the thought bubble. Oh, maybe we need to get an appear block. Let me see. Sure, did we need to add a show block? I don't know. I go check the code here. So we're really just trying to figure out Maybe I'll make her say something else. Maybe I'll make her say, snowflakes, and then broadcast the heart. I don't know. Let me see if that works. So again, it's coding. So you're really just kind of trialing and erroring until you get what you want, till it works. Oh no, she said snowflakes, but then it covered. Shoot. So actually, it didn't exactly work out right. This, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to put a little delay. You know what I'm gonna have to do is have a little wait block. So let me go into my control so it doesn't look as weird. Wait 2 seconds. Okay, now let's see if it doesn't overlap. Oh wait, it didn't work. To reset. Hang on. I have to hide it. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm kind of just playing around with the code to make it work. Okay, so now I think it should work. It looks like she's saying her story, and then her scarf comes on, and then her heart comes on. It's still timed a little bit weird because I did want to wait until the snowflake thing went away. So I don't want to make this video too long, but you have to kind of play around with your wait blocks. So you're going to have your own story, and obviously your story is going to be different than my story because you're making up your own. Let's look, there's one more different type of add-on, the color craze. Let me show you
In
guys
this
that.
add-on, you'll play a tune and use graphic effects like mosaic and color to make your program more entertaining. To start, add a new backdrop. Click the stage in the Backdrops tab. Choose a backdrop from one of the options. Next, change this backdrop using an effect. From the Looks menu, drag the Change Effect block into the Scripts area. Click the drop-down to see the different choices. Select an effect and click the block to try it out. To reset the backdrop, click the Clear Graphic Effects block in the palette. Select Color and click on the block. This block changes the stage's color. Make this effect happen over and over with a loop. A loop is a block that repeats the actions inside it. Click the Control menu, drag a forever loop around the Change Effect block. Click the stack to try it out. The colors keep changing. To run this code at the start of the program, place a When Flag Clicked block at the top of the stack. Make your project more exciting by adding a sound. Click the Sounds tab and choose Sound from Library to listen to a few sounds. When you find a sound you like, click on it, select the Scripts tab, and from the Sound menu, drag a Play Sound Until Done block into the Scripts editor. From the drop-down, select the sound you chose. Click on the block. Nice. Drag out a forever loop to make the sound repeat. Now that's a sweet beat. If your sound loop doesn't sound right, make sure you use a Play Sound Until Done block. The Play Sound Until Done block will play the sound all the way through before running any other code. The Play Sound block, on the other hand, will run the next block while the sound is still playing, which may sound awkward in a loop. Finally, add a When Flag Clicked block to the top of the stack. Click the flag to start your program. The backdrop color changes and the sound you added repeats over and over. Now it's your turn. Change the backdrop's look by selecting the stage and using the Change Effect block. Add a sound by clicking on the Sounds tab and using a Play Sound Until Done block. Add forever blocks to each block stack to run the code over and over.
Okay, so now let's make this a little less boring because it's kind of quiet, right? And so let's change the effect of the background and let's add some music. So click on your backdrop. Remember, make sure it's highlighted in blue so you know that's what you're coding. Now let's add, what do you want to do first? Let's change the effect, color effect. So we need a when clicked. Let's have it do it forever. And you can make it do whatever. I'll make it whirl. If you want to change the background, go to backdrops. They have different ones. Oh, oops. Reload. Oh no, I hope I'm not losing the internet. Oh, darn it. Oh well, anyways, I can't change it right now. Oh shoot, it made me change it into that. Why is it doing this? All right, I don't want to mess up the project. Let me do file, save now. Well, now she's stuck with this background. Okay, so anyways, I don't want to mess around if the internet is not working right. Okay, so now let me add some sound. So again, I can add a forever loop, put my play sound until, add my when green flag is clicked, and then let me decide on what sound I want. So if you go into sounds, and you can go into the library here. I mean, there's so many sounds, so I don't know, whatever you guys want. You can kind of test it out. Oh shoot, I keep clicking on it. No, that's not the one I want. I want something fun. I want something, I don't know. Oh, no, thank you. Anyways, you could be here all day choosing the one that you want. I'm gonna pick this one, dance around. So let me go back in here. I'm gonna get to dance around. And now let me try my project again. Wow, now it looks a lot more fun, doesn't it? It has music and the background changes. There goes her scarf and she's happy. And there you go. So as you can see, that makes the project a lot more fun, right? So you guys are going to work on your fashion story. So remember, a couple of tips. Always make sure what you're coding is highlighted with like a blue square around it. So you have your Android is where you're going to put all of your text for your story. Have your object appear. So you're going to have to use the broadcasting blocks. You could do a little thought bubble. Your stage is where you're going to put your sound, and then you can do your effects to kind of make it less blah, you know, have it more come alive. And so have fun telling us a fashion story. So remember, everything you need, different costumes are here, sounds are here. And always go to File, Save Now, and make sure that it saves. So then that way it'll be stored in your projects, and then I can take a look and see what you did. So please be creative. If you just do literally one sentence, you're not going to do well. You want to add in a story about fashion and have it, you know, be interactive, right? You have your piece moving in and your music and your sound and everything in your background. So be fun with this, okay? And then again, email me if you want me to share yours, because I think that would be super fun too. All right, guys? So have fun with this, and I'll be looking forward to seeing your projects next week, okay? Your first coding projects. All right, bye.